Good morning, everybody. What's up, YouTube? Sir Spookfest here. So, I was reading this, and it has a whole thing on Fort Monroe, Mysterious Virginia. So, I figured I'd read it to you. Fort Monroe is the largest stone fort ever built in the United States. Construction on the fort began in 1819. President James Madison named French military engineer Simon Bernard as supervisor over the construction. The fort was completed in 1834 and was the only fort in the United States circled by 3-foot to 5-foot deep moats. Its irregular hexagonal shape makes it the only fort of its kind in the United States, located in Hampton, Virginia. The fort has been continuously occupied since 1823. Although some from the fortification has existed, some form of fortification since 1609. That's impressive. The fort was named for the 5th President of the United States, James Monroe. The location of the fort is considered necessary for the defense of Chesapeake Bay, Hampton Roads, and the navigational channels that connect them. The land the fort sits on became known as Point Comfort. Hampton Roads is one of the world's largest natural harbors. The granite walls came from Virginia and Maryland, and the building material was supplied locally. The walls are 10 feet thick. Casemates were built for soldiers to fire cannons in relative safety. The fort covers 63 acres, with the walls reaching 1.3 miles around. Fort Monroe cost nearly $2 million back then. Jefferson Davis was lieutenant of the United States Army, later went to become President of the Confederacy. Davis held the position of Secretary of War at the fort and was later held there as a prisoner. After the Civil War was over, Davis was accused of treason, plotting the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln, and ill treatment of captured Union soldiers. In May 1865, Davis was arrested and escorted to the casemate at Fort Monroe. Davis was chained and by the ankles for 3 days. Davis remained at the casemate for 6 months before moved to a better cell inside Carroll Hall. Davis was released a year and a half later, and Horace Greeley, Garrett Smith, and Cornelius Vanderbilt posted a $100,000 bail for Davis. He was never tried for his crimes in which he was accused. Davis wrongly was accused. Robert E. Lee was a lieutenant and stationed at Fort Monroe. Lee was responsible for directing large engineering projects. In 2011, Fort Monroe was decommissioned, but some of the buildings are protected as National Historic Landmarks. Alright, and then we're going to get into the ghosts. Ghosts of Fort Monroe. And here's one of the most famous pictures. Abraham Lincoln standing by the fireplace at Quarters 1. Which I've done investigations, I've had experiences at the fort. Among the ghosts are reportedly seen at Fort Monroe the ghosts of Jefferson Davis, Ulysses S. Grant, Chief Black Hawk, Edgar Allan Poe, Abraham Lincoln, and many apparitions from the Civil War era have been seen, heard around the fort. Jefferson Davis' ghost has been seen walking around the ramparts at night. Quarters number 1 is reportedly visited by the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. A voice recording of a little girl calling her cat was caught in front of the Quarters 1. The ghost of a gray cat is often seen disappearing around corners. Some have reported seeing the cat walk through the bookcases. The sounds of disembodied voices and horse hooves have often been heard. Pictures with orbs in them have also been taken. Could just be dust. June Polanski lived in the house across the street from the fort. One night she took her dog outside and sat down to wait for it. A little while later she heard a knocking on her back door. She started through the house to see who was at her back door. To her surprise, she encountered a man wearing a uniform shirt from another period, standing by the fireplace. He looked at her and then disappeared. Polanski's son reported seeing a strange mist in the bedroom. The people who live there now have also reported seeing strange mists around the fort. The lady in white The White Lady, or better known ghost tales of the fort, it seems that she was married to a captain who was not very good husband. When he was away one weekend, his wife and a young soldier got together. The husband returned rather unexpectedly and caught his wife with her soldier friend in bed. The captain shot and killed his wife. She has since been seen wandering around the fort in a white nightgown. The Second Chamberlain Hotel, 1928 to 2003, located on the fort grounds, also had a female ghost called Esmeralda. She is thought to have been captain's daughter and been seen moving around the 8th floor of the hotel. A ghost in a top hat has also been seen on the hotel porch, and it is believed to be the ghost of Edgar Allan Poe. A family moved into the house on the base and was built in early 1900s. Strange and unusual things started happening not long after they moved in. The first strange thing to happen was the disappearance of a camera from where it was kept. It later reappeared under the sink and was down in the downstairs bathroom. Doors have been heard opening and closing when nobody was around. Disembodied footsteps and voices are also heard around the house. In one of the upstairs bedrooms, a woman in a Victoria-era dress has been seen standing by the crib. The ghost of Abraham Lincoln has been seen standing near a fireplace, deep in thought. Ulysses S. Grant has also been seen in the house. A ghostly spirit of a woman is often seen staring out of the second-story window across from the casemate where Jefferson Davis was held. It is believed to be the spirit of his wife still watching for him. Residents of the house that was home of Robert E. Lee often hear disembodied footsteps and voices. In one of the houses on the base, a family watching television was a Victorian table with a heavy marble top went flying across the room. There were workmen in the attic of the house who commented that the little boy was watching them work, but they said he didn't bother them at all. A family who lived in the house in the fort's grounds had a broken organ, and they planned to get it fixed. They hired a local company that was family owned, but there had been a death recently in that family, so no one was available to repair the organ. A few days later, a man showed up and started to work on the organ and fixed it. He left the building without being paid. When the lady of the house called the company to inquire how to make payment for the fixing of the organ, the company said it hadn't sent anyone out to fix the organ. After getting a description of the man, the company's representative realized it was her father who had just passed away in that company. So there's a little bit of Fort Monroe, Virginia, disembodied footsteps, seeing soldiers. I've heard disembodied footsteps. I've seen shadow figures up on the ramparts. I've had weird things when I'm investigating over there. I'll be going back over there to investigate soon. My pictures are always falling off the wall. Anyway, just wanted to read that to you so you get a little better history on Fort Monroe. I'll be back over there soon. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'll be back tomorrow for another Close Your Eyes and Point. Yeah, peace out. I'll be back soon.